Hey everyone, it's Manny Garavito. Welcome to another episode of the Miami Comedy Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about what are some of the things that we can copy from the rest of America and bring it here to Miami. So one of the things that we can copy from the rest of America and bring it to Miami is country music. Now hear me out. I know there might be a lot of people that would be against this, but let's take a break from the nightclubs. How many times do you go to a nightclub and then as soon as the music starts playing and people start getting lit, somebody just shows up and starts grinding on somebody? Let's take a break from that and we can do line dancing. Now, what would that do for our city? Well, the first thing is we can have a decent way of getting to know somebody without somebody trying to rub up all over you. If Miami is known for one of the worst places to find a partner, if you bring more country nightclub themes to our city, the people that don't agree with that can go there and start finding people with those old school traditional values. The working man, he's out there and he's trying to find a special someone that's not an OnlyFans, that appreciates the Lord, that'll put a ring on it, that'll sing his sweet songs about getting drunk in the back of his pickup truck. A lot of people in Miami have pickup trucks. We get along. People in Miami don't like it when they see people that look different than them. That's the same thing that country people do. We get along. So why don't we get along with nightclubbing? Add more country nightclubs to our city and watch us make a difference in the landscape, not only in dating, but in partying. The next thing that Miami should consider picking up is we got to get an Amish culture. Now, once again, hear me out. We got to get an Amish culture in the city because, look, we are called Vice City for a reason, or at least that's our pseudonym apart from the Magic City. And if you bring the Amish, it just brings the balance right back. Incentivize Amish people to come here to Miami. Move them over to Homestead. And if there's some people out there that don't like the dating values that we have in our city, you just say, all right, if you don't want to date that OnlyFans model from Brickell, go on over to Homestead. I'm sure there's a girl that doesn't even have a phone. Go hit her up, get her father's approval, and start a family in an Amish culture. Plenty of horse and carriages, no Wi-Fi, so no one's on Tinder. No one's on the dating apps. There's no sliding in DMs when you're in an Amish culture. You start learning about picking fruit, raising animals. And you know what? That can even be a flex. While people are out there showing off with their convertibles and their expensive cars, who's got a horse and buggy? You, because you're Amish. Somebody comes up with a limo that's rented. You don't own your own horse? You don't even know how to take care of a horse. My vehicle is alive. You need to push a button to turn yours on. The next thing Miami should start looking into copying from the rest of America is we got to make our national park better. I know we got the Everglades, but it's boring. In the Everglades, the alligators and crocodiles, they're not active. They're just floating around. They don't do nothing at all. They're just boring animals. When you go to any other national park, you got to watch out for bison, mountain lions, the bears, and the bears will go through your stuff in the middle of the night. You look out the window, bear right there. Life is on the line when you're in a national park. I propose, why don't we look into building some cabins, but not just any kind of cabins. We're talking about party cabins. So instead of going to a bar or a lounge, you rent out a cabin in the Everglades and you party. And guess what? When you do that, there's no HOA, there's no association, there's no neighbors telling you to bring it down. You want to party hard in Miami? Go get a cabin in the Everglades National Park and party hard. No police officer is going to raid that party because they don't want to go through the trouble. They got to get off-road vehicles to get to you. So you got to bring in theme parks from local celebrities and turn them into attractions. The same way there's a Dollywood in Tennessee is the same way Pitbull can start Dollywood here in Miami. And I'm not talking about a theme park like the Fair or Santa's Enchanted Forest, none of that. I'm talking about like a real Miami-themed theme park. If Pitbull were to start this theme park, some of the things that I would recommend it do in order for it to stay on brand is when you do like the drop tower rides, when it goes up and then it drops, or the roller coaster that does the tips and turns. Before the ride starts, everyone that's about to ride it needs to yell out Dolly to let the carny know to get started with the ride. Dolly! You push the button. That. The Dolly double looper. The gift shop can even include something like you walk into a studio and you can sing your own auto-tune song. And then Pitbull has a pre-recorded track and then he'll mix it in with you. And then you get a mixtape with you singing some lyrics and then Pitbull backing you up as a secondary. And then that is your own mixtape. And then you go around, you start sharing it with your friends, you start posting it online. You get to promote. Another thing that Miami should copy from the rest of America is it's got to have a museum that is similar. So like say, for example, like I know there's a History Miami museum, But maybe if they doubled down and they brought in like the interesting history of Miami, talk about all the sinister things that had to happen in order for this city to be established, particularly in the 80s. What are some of the most famous drug busts that ever happened in Miami? Let's talk about it. Crime scene, evidence in Ziploc bags. Lay it all out on display as part of the museum exhibition. Put it all on there. Let us know the real history of Miami. You can even start doing like wax statues of Scarface or some famous guy that was like a big drug dealer in Miami at the time. You could put in a boat that was confiscated by some of these people in the 80s. Miami should start implementing that strip where there's just bars lined up back to back, and they all serve affordable drinks. I know we have something similar like Ocean Drive, but Ocean Drive, it's just hotel lobbies. What these strip bars do is that they know you're going to go bar hopping, so they serve you like $8 drinks so that they can compete with the other bar that's serving $8 drinks. So if we update that and bring it to Miami and have maybe like a strip, maybe in an area that was once considered broken down, you just buy that whole road and then you just set up bars back to back, make it affordable for everybody, and watch that take over Miami. Even if it's just one area. If it's known to be the most affordable place to go bar hopping, I guarantee you that it would be competitive enough to go against the more popular areas of the city. You can even have DJs playing there, like the local DJs. The only difference is that those DJs can then make money by taking in recommendations. That's what they did over in Broadway. You're on your fourth, fifth drink, you see a band playing, they got 8 songs on cue that are recommended. You give them a $100 bill, they're gonna play your song next. And we're loaded in Miami, so we would pay something like that. But instead of it being a band, it's a DJ. If we come together as a city and set up a strip that is affordable with a bunch of DJs that take song requests, that area will be very competitive. Miami should start implementing more street parades, but we do it in our own way. I think Mardi Gras means Fat Tuesday, right? How about we have our own version of that and we call it Thick Thursday, because that's how we like it around here. And Miami's version of the Mardi Gras, aka Thick Thursday, instead of us throwing beads at women showing their breasts, we could throw like fake gold chains to women that have BBLs, right? That would be like our version of it. And instead of like floats going by in the street parade, we can be having a truck towing somebody's yacht. And instead of the people on there dressed as jesters, we can have people dressed up as old sugar daddies, waving at the crowd, bringing in baddies into the yacht. Those are the only ones allowed, right? And then they go on over to the water, and then they have the after party in the ocean. So it's very on brand. I also have a suggestion for the public transportation. We should start implementing or incentivizing people that do party buses and double down. And then that way, it can be a hybrid of public transportation and private transportation. And then you add that little flair of nightlife to it. It doesn't even have to be online at night. It could be online during the daytime. People want to take a party bus on the way to work. I'm stressed out. I'm not getting paid enough for these Miami rent prices. Let me get on a party bus to de-stress on my way to work. Even after work, you get back on the party bus, you put a little higher price point, we'll pay it. There's a DJ spinning, they're serving a little bit of liquor on there. You might be talking to somebody, right? And then when you get dropped off, be like, hey, so you want to come over and take this party to my apartment? Hey, how about legalizing weed? Huh? How come we can't do that yet? If DeSantis says he doesn't want it because Florida's going to smell like weed, come on, DeSantis. Don't be a hater. You're leaving money on the table. People are smoking weed anyway. We don't even got to set up dispensaries. All we got to do is get on that food truck business that's so popular here in the city of Miami. I already see them driving around. They're selling paraphernalia and tobacco pipes and blunts and CBD or whatever. As soon as we get the green light, all those businesses are going to start booming. We're smoking weed regardless. We don't really wait for legislation. We're going to do it. We're in Florida. If you legalize it in the state of Florida, particularly in the city of Miami, people are going to be making so much money. And it's going to be business owners, entrepreneurs, and you're going to bring in more people to our city. And you're going to start bringing up that revenue. And guess what? It grows the economy. That is it for this episode of the Miami Comedy Podcast. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave it on the comments. What else should we copy from America and bring it here to the city of Miami? I'll see you on the next episode.